When most people hear the word budget, they immediately think of limits, of saying no to everything fun, of boring spreadsheets. But what if we flip that idea on its head? A budget isn't a financial prison. Think of it more like a roadmap, a tool that actually gives you the freedom and control to build the life you really want. So, how do we actually do that? Well, we're going to walk through 5 key steps today. First, we'll talk about what a budget really is, your money's roadmap. Then, we'll hit the two most important steps: tracking where your money is going now, and then telling it where to go next. After that, we'll check out some awesome tools to make it all way easier. And finally, we'll talk about how to make this whole thing stick. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, before we get into all the numbers and the nitty-gritty, let's just start with the big idea. What exactly are we trying to build here when we talk about making a budget? At its core, a budget is just a plan. That's it. It's you deciding ahead of time how you want to use your money to get you closer to your goals. It's not about restriction, it's about intention. It's your own personal roadmap, guiding every dollar towards something that actually matters to you. Okay, so you can't really draw a map to where you're going if you don't know where you're starting from, right? That is exactly why the very first real step in budgeting is getting a super clear picture of what's happening with your money right now. And really, it all boils down to two simple things: what's coming in and what's going out. Your income, that's your paycheck, any side hustles, all the money flowing in. And your expenses, that's everything flowing out. The first mission is just to see how those two things are balancing out for you each month. And to do that, it really helps to sort your spending into different buckets or categories. Here are some of the usual suspects. You've got your big ones, like housing. Then you've got stuff that changes, like food and transportation. And you can't forget about personal spending or your big financial goals like saving or knocking down debt. Tracking these is like being a detective. You start to see all the patterns. Okay, once you have that info, once you know exactly where your money has been going, you are ready for the most powerful step of all. Now it's time to tell your money where you want it to go from now on. And this whole process is actually pretty straightforward. You can break it down into 3 simple steps. First, figure out your goals. What are you actually working towards? A down payment? Getting rid of credit card debt? Second, grab your data. That's all that income and expense tracking we just talked about. And finally, you make the plan. You intentionally give every dollar a job to do. Now, there are a couple of ways to do this. Traditional budgeting is often reactive. You kind of look in the rearview mirror at last month and make a few small changes. But there's a more powerful way called zero-based budgeting, and it's totally proactive. You start fresh every single month. Instead of asking, how can I trim my grocery bill? You ask, what is the job this dollar needs to do? It's a huge mindset shift from just reacting to the past to intentionally planning for the future. I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a lot of work. And, doing it all by hand could be. But here's the great news. You don't have to. We live in an age with amazing tools that can pretty much automate this entire process. And thankfully, there is an app for just about everything. If you really like that proactive, zero-based method, then You Need a Budget, or YNAB, is built from the ground up for that. If you're just starting out, Simplify is fantastic, super user-friendly. If you're managing money with a partner, Honeydew is designed just for that. And if you want to see your budget right next to your investments, Empower brings it all together in one place. So, you've made a plan, you've picked your tool, that's awesome. But the real game changer, the thing that creates real results, is turning this from a one-time project into a regular habit. And the key to making it a habit is this. I love this idea. Set a money date once a month. This isn't about being strict, it's about staying engaged. Life is always changing, right? So your budget needs to be flexible too. That monthly check-in is your chance to adjust things, see how you're doing, celebrate the wins, and just make sure your plans still make sense for your life. And that flexibility is absolutely crucial, especially when prices are going up with inflation. A budget that's set in stone will just break. So you have to adapt. Make sure your money covers the essentials first: housing, food, that kind of thing. Pay attention to how much your regular groceries are costing now. This helps you make conscious choices to maybe cut back on the non-essentials and build a little bit of a buffer in for those costs that seem to change all the time. So there you have it. We've covered the what, the why, and the how. We've seen that a budget is just your personal roadmap, a plan you create to take charge of your money and your future. The only thing left to do is start. So I'll leave you with this question to think on. What is the very first goal, big or small, that your new budget is going to help you crush?